Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. Oh, I'm so happy to see you guys. It's been a month. And hey, I just want to remind you all, the only reason that we know it's Happy Monday is the Mondays that we get together. I'll tell you, we chose to live stream on Mondays because Mondays are not that great. But this is a reason for us to consider Mondays absolutely wonderful, and they are happy because we get together. We have built a community of pet groomers, of home groomers, of pet owners, professionals, other professionals in the industry that share valuable knowledge in order for all of us to benefit from it. That's why it's a good Monday. So thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Lee, certified professional pet groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you all, and thank you for being here, the secrets of the pet grooming industry so you can provide the same level of quality care to your beloved pets at home as I provide right here in my grooming salon to the dogs that I care for professionally. I am so glad that you guys are here. This is fun. This is a big one, worth waiting for. It's been 4 weeks since we got together. Oh, it's so good to see you guys. Our topic tonight is how to hold your dog grooming tools properly. Guys, there's a right and a wrong way. There really is. I'm also going to answer any questions that you have regarding how to hold your dog grooming tools properly at the end of this video. So if you notice, I pinned a comment at the top of the chat reminding everybody to please, if you have a question pertaining to our topic tonight, hold the dash button and create a line and then type your question, and then I can easily see that you have a question when I'm scrolling through the chat, and I can get you an answer. And I want to get you an answer. That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. So let's do this, you know. Let's get you what you need. We're all here to help each other. So that's at the end of this live stream. I'm going to dive into all those questions. So you can type them as they come to you. I will be scrolling back and trying to catch any questions I can. I may not be able to answer all of them, but I'm going to do my best. I promise. You know I will do my best. So go ahead and type them in the chat. Be sure to put that line before your question so I see it and I can get you the answer. Back to topic. Believe it or not, if you do not hold your dog grooming tools correctly, they cannot produce the work that you desire when you're grooming dogs. It is a lot about the way you hold the tools. Honestly, that determines how they perform for you. It's a real thing. And as a professional, I can vouch for that. It's very true. So, you know, you could be setting your grooming sessions up for failure before you begin if you are holding your tools incorrectly. And I want to change that for you. I think I have changed it for a lot of you. I am amazed by the work you guys are doing. I see the emails. I read them. I see the pictures you send me on social media for me to check out your work and critique it. And I love it because you're very proud of what you're doing and you work hard. To gain this knowledge and to build dexterity with dog grooming tools is not easy. It's just like learning to play a musical instrument. It typically does not come second nature to us until we really train these fingers and our brain to do what we want them to do together in unison. It's not easy. So speaking of dog grooming tools, I want you to know that there are 4 core dog grooming tools. Let me just check something. Okay, we're still good. I get a little nervous. Sometimes our Wi-Fi gets jumpy on us. There are 4 core dog grooming tools that you need to master before you even consider adding more tools to your arsenal of dog grooming tools. So what I mean by that, and these 4 tools, let me show you. I'm going to throw it up on the screen right now. I'm going to show you what those tools are. These are your 4 core dog grooming tools. Tonight I'm going to demonstrate the right and the wrong way to hold these tools, okay? Because I want to make sure you get it. But that's not all I got going for you tonight, I promise. But these tools are the clipper, a straight shear, which is also your scissor. It's called a shear. The clipper's not a shear. This is a clipper. your scissors to shear. I know the terms get confusing sometimes, so I like to throw it out there so you know. Okay, so the 4 tools are a clipper, a straight shear, and I say straight shear, I mean straight shear. These are your 4 core tools to master before you ever think about purchasing other tools. Your dog grooming brush and your dog grooming comb. You must be able to use these tools comfortably. And if you're able to use these 4 tools comfortably, you can actually give a dog a haircut. Those are the only tools you truly need, other than shampoo, conditioner, blow dryer. Okay, all right, stop me right there. So these are your 4 core tools, guys. I want you to start out our conversation tonight thinking about those tools, okay? It's really important. All right, I've linked my current top recommendations based on performance and availability. That's a big problem these days. For these tools, which I have linked in the description below of this video. So you will find them linked in the description. They are my top recommendations for you guys. You know, as far as quality and a good price point, are they available? And, you know, do they perform well? So I've linked for a brush, a comb, a clipper, and a dog grooming shear, and it is my shear that I linked. This is my shear, made by Kenchi. It says Amy Lee. That's me. I teamed up with Kenchi so that we could make you the perfect shear for the pet groomer or for the beginner, and we did it. These shears have been out now for about almost 2 years. I love them with all of my heart, and I know many of you have them, and you love them too because you send me your feedback, and I appreciate that. So now, please do not consider purchasing any other grooming tools before you learn to successfully groom a dog with those 4 core tools. It's very important that you guys realize that. Also tonight, as I promised, I told you I had something for you tonight. I told you. I created a comprehensive guide in PDF format. It's a file, which you can purchase, download, and print out to teach you the right way to hold your dog grooming clipper, shear, brush, and especially how to properly use the dog grooming comb. And I have a special section for that here tonight, guys. So let me throw this up on the screen for you so you get an idea what this is. It's linked in the description below. It costs $4.99 to purchase. You can print it out. You can also keep a copy on your computer to always refer to it and read it on your computer. But listen closely. I have to turn this off. I need you to listen to me. Very important announcement. If you are a hound, which is a Go Groomer channel member, you should not purchase this. Do you hear me? If you are a channel member, do not buy this. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because I already gave it to you. If you are a channel member, I gave it to you in session 13 of Sheer Joy with Amy Lee and the Hounds. That's when I get together with my channel members, and I always have a PDF for them to print out and add to their personalized Go Groomer notebook. We're building that together with all my secrets. So if you are a channel member, or if you join my channel as a member, you will have free access to this digital download in session 13 of Sheer Joy with Amy Lee. Okay? I want to make that clear. I don't want you guys purchasing something that you already bought because you're a channel member and you deserved it. You earned it. And we had a wonderful session going over this together, which is only a video that's available to my channel members, and it can be watched. All of my channel members' videos and learning sessions can be rewatched and rewatched and rewatched at any time if you're a channel member. So they're there in numbered order of when we go through these lessons. So if you're a channel member, please do not purchase this. But it was too good for me to not put out there and allow other people to take advantage of this awesome information. I'll put it back up on screen. This is what my PDF, my digital download is. Now it's all clustered up all there together because if you want it, you gotta buy it. But trust me, it's worth it at $4.99. Okay, so how will this digital download guide help you properly hold your tools? Here's the truth. There is so much information out there on social media showing you what tools are recommended by professional pet groomers, okay? But there's very little information out there showing you the right way to hold your dog grooming tools in order to successfully groom a dog. It's so important. I knew I had to make this. So what's so great about this 7-page digital download? It not only shows you the correct way to hold your tools, but it also shows you the wrong way to hold these 4 core dog grooming tools and how that will affect your work if you do hold them the wrong way. So I just love it. I love it. So right now, I'm going to put my full self on screen here. I'm going to get rid of the chat for a little while. Not for long. I'll bring you right back. Remember, if you have a question, guys, go ahead and start typing them in, because your questions help other people too, because I guarantee you it's on their mind as well. But when you ask a question, somebody might be being a little bit shy, little shy girl, little shy boy. I don't want to ask my question. I don't want to look like I don't know. You're here because you need answers. Don't be shy about that, okay? So if you ask the question, guys, just know it helps other people too, because they have the same questions. So thank you. Let me show you exactly how to hold these tools in order to allow them to perform best for you and your pet, okay? So let me switch right over. Let me turn one thing off here. I got a little bit of busyness going on my screen. Okay. Here we are. I see my mic's on. Good. So what is the proper way to hold a dog grooming clipper? Like this. So most all of our clippers they are now very origamically created to really kind of position our hand where it belongs. Thank God. That's a nice thing that they do that for us. They didn't used to. Clippers used to be very cumbersome and heavy and break all the time. I mean, they've come a long way. This is the new Joy Z Raptor. This is the cordless version. And the corded version is awesome. And it's cheaper than the Wall KM10 that I've been recommending for years and years. And it's just as good, and it feels just as good in my hand. Here's the thing. It is on pre-order right now for either the cordless version or the corded version. But it is the clipper that I linked below, because I want to tell you right now, the only other one that I would say is the best is the Wall KM10. And I'm afraid they may be discontinuing it, because it has been sold out, temporarily out of stock for a long time. And I saw Wall came out with some new type of clipper that I'm not very interested in trying out of the gate. I can tell by looking at it. It can't compete with the Wall KM10. So I'm like, when are you going to bring the Wall KM10 back? I don't know. So I'm going to have to start seeing if I can reach out to somebody and find out those answers for us, because we're all getting very frustrated that the Wall KM10 is not available right now. But this guy is brand new. This is a new brand called Joy Z. Everything Joy Z makes is Kenchi. Kenchi is Joy Z, okay? It's just a different brand. Kenchi is an excellent brand, and they do not put any crappy products on the market. They're very thoughtful about what they release to the. They want to be on top, and that's in our favor, because that means they're going to produce good stuff for us. So this clipper comes in a corded model, and the corded model, I believe, is about $30 or more cheaper than the Wall KM10. So the right way to hold the clipper is you want the clipper to have balance in your hand. If you're holding it wrong like this, now there are times when I will hold my clipper like this, but I don't have a death grip on it. I'm still allowing it to rest in my hand, because I may be working on a heavy coat and I'm clipping for a while, and maybe for a minute I need to give my wrist a break. So if it's in a comfortable, coming down the legs and down the back, if it's comfortable for me, I will hold it like this, but not real tight. Don't hold your tools tight. You want to let them have the finesse that they need for you to finesse the tools, okay? But the correct way to hold it is like this, guys. because when I'm holding it like this, and I almost am close to down around the cutting operational area here of this clipper. So when I'm holding it like this, it's giving me, this is meant to be balanced if you're holding it like this. It's giving me more control, okay? And I can turn it around if I'm coming down the side of a leg. I can do that, but I'm not holding it tight. Look at my fingers are holding this clipper. And that's going to give you more control. My Prima bathing system's over there talking to us. It's going to give you more control to hold your clipper like this, gently, and your fingers. And it's also going to be safer for your dog. And you can still control this cutting edge. You may think you can't, but you can. So you still want to, you know, roll the skin in front of your clipper blade. But look, I'm holding it with my fingers. It gives you all the control and comfort so that you can operate this tool safely and effectively. And it can perform better for you, okay, if it's comfortable in your hand. So that's the clipper. Let's move on to the shear, the dog grooming shear, the scissor. Okay, the right way to hold your scissor, this is kind of hard, is your thumb is gently resting in the thumb rest, right here. Your ring finger, third finger, is gently resting and not protruding all the way through. You're going to lose control if you let this finger come through like that. It's gently resting in the finger rest. Most all dog grooming shears, especially mine, have what's called a pinky rest. And that's for your pinky. And believe it or not, it adds balance. It absolutely adds balance to having this in your hand. Then the first and the second finger are naturally going to fall into place. And as you can see on my shear, it's notched out to put your fingers right where they belong. Now, I know some of my shears are on back order too. I saw that. I believe the straight shear is still available right now. The set, as a whole set, that is out of stock temporarily. They'll be restocking. They are like Santa's helpers. They can only make so many at a time, guys, and we have been buying a lot of these shears. So the blending shear is also available to be purchased singly. This one is the straight shear and the blending shear. The curved shear, which I love my curved shear, is temporarily out of stock. So no worries. Kenchi will be restocking. How do I know that? Because I am collaborating with them on these shears. I know that they are coming back into stock. They do their best to keep them stocked. So when we hold these shears properly and we only allow our thumb to become the action of the shear, we have a lot of control. If we hold them wrong, we put our middle finger in here. Now, some people do have arthritis and have suffered hand injuries, and they may need to use their second finger instead of the third finger because they have to. If that's the case, oftentimes what they do is they find themselves a specific type of shear that feels great in their hands, and it's usually not an 8-inch shear. Because if you're using your middle finger and your thumb in this 8-inch shear, it's going to feel top heavy. And that's not what we want. We want the shear to feel comfortable in our hand so that we can operate it with ease. And if you hold your shear properly like this, and this is all in the PDF that's linked below, close up, you are already setting yourself up for success to have successful scissor work. And it's so important. Also gives you more control of your shear if it's balanced in your hand. If you're trying to fight with it all the time, if you're holding it the wrong way with your middle finger, or maybe you even, another wrong way to hold it is to allow this finger to come through like that. You now don't have the control of the shear, and you're going to feel it right here when you're holding it wrong. We don't want to mess these tendons up, guys. It's a surgery to fix it oftentimes. So if you have trouble holding your shears because of an injury or arthritis, you may want to consider what's called a swivel finger shear, okay? And what that does is this finger moves for you. So it moves where you need it to be so that you feel the comfort, okay? It's so important. You can also get thumb and finger inserts at Kenchi. They are a shear manufacturer. That's who manufactures my shears. The lighting here is absolutely awful. Don't worry guys, someday we'll have a new shop to live stream in and the lighting will be perfect, I promise. So Kenchi has thumb inserts as well as finger inserts, and they come in different sizes. So if you have extremely small, tiny little fingers, you can get bulkier finger rest to put into your thumb and finger insert on your shears. One of my channel members brought that to my attention, that they actually do come in different thicknesses. So that's perfect. But I always use it in my thumb. I always use an insert because otherwise my thumb would try to slide through there. And I don't want that. I want it gently resting in there. See that? Gently resting. So it's very important. So, and it goes into greater detail in my PDF that's linked below for you guys if you want to purchase it, as to obviously how to hold it right, how to hold it wrong, and what happens if you don't hold them right, and what happens if you hold them right, you know. So it's very important, and it goes into detail, and I just love this PDF. I think it's awesome. The next tool is our brush. Hey guys, this is a brush that you have not seen me use very often unless you follow me on Instagram. This is a brush called Flexit, and I believe, our lighting is terrible, I believe it is made by the same maker as Activate, and it kind of behaves the same. It feels a little different in your hand. So one of my very favorite brushes, excuse me, is and has been, for the money and how much this brush is, it's so comfortable in my hand, and I feel I have a lot of control of this brush. This is the Artero flexible slicker brush, and it is again completely out of stock for months. Why aren't they making them? I don't know. I don't understand how this works, but they're out of stock, so I had to go find some other solutions. Okay, obviously this is actually the last one that I have, and it's starting to get a little tattered. As you can see, the bristles are starting to get a little cattywampus. Means it's soon time to purchase another brush, or I have other brushes purchased, but to put this away and start using it as a tub brush only, because when the bristles become out of whack, you know, they could poke you or they could poke the dog. So that's why I like to take them off the table, especially to use anywhere around the face or any tender areas. So this Flexit brush I've been testing, and I like it. And they do come in super firm, which would be more like a matte zapper. But this is the gold, the soft gold, which I think they say is for like undercoats, removing undercoats, or thicker coats. But most of everything I groom, like golden doodles, shih tzus, those are thicker coats. So I use it universally. But the right way to hold your dog grooming brush, and I do have a video about this. I don't know if you guys saw it, the right way to hold your tools, how to hold your tools the right way or something. It's on my channel. It's within the last year I made that video. So not like this. This is wrong, okay? Because you're gonna wanna push too hard on that skin, and you can cause injury to a dog with a brush if you're brushing too hard or over and over again in the same spot. You can cause injury. I want you guys to know that, and that's all in the PDF and more. So when I'm holding a brush, I am really holding it, and even if I'm dematting, I'm holding the skin and the mat so that I'm not going to brush skin. And look at this, look how this brush is bouncing in my hand. That's how I brush a dog. You see that? The brush is bouncing in my hand. It could easily be knocked out of my hand if somebody walked past me and I was brushing a dog. I have that loose of a grip on it. It's important that you understand that. It gives you more control. It's also balancing the tool in your hand so that it can perform best for you. That's what's important. So this is the right way to hold a brush. Okay? Not down here. This is wrong. It doesn't give you the control, and it may encourage you to brush too hard without knowing you are. Okay? And this is wrong, because now you're on lockdown here. There's no flexibility in here. There's no flexibility, and it's going to hurt. You're very tense, and you would tend to want to brush too hard. So this is how I brush dogs, and it is perfect. So if I'm brushing out an ear, watch my videos, guys. Watch how I hold my tools. It will really tell you something and give you something to try. And speaking of something to try, I want you to. If you got a brush there right now, pick it up. Go ahead, I'll wait. Pick it up. Why? I want you to hold it wrong. And I want you to move like you're brushing a dog. And feel all this power that you're bringing into the brush. It's not really power you're looking for when you're brushing. It's your technique. Now I want you to hold it right. See, it's loose in my hand, but it's balanced in my hand. It's gently balanced. Prima bathing system still talking. So, now I want you to try that. Feel it. Do you feel the relaxing of your arm, your muscles, but you still have control? In fact, you have a lot more control. You feel that? And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to hold your shears the right way, thumb in the thumb hole, third finger in the finger rest, pinky in the pinky rest, and let these two fingers fall right there behind the axis of the shear. Your fingers should never protrude past there. You're unbalancing this shear, and you're causing your work to suffer. Nothing is behind this point of the shear. In front of, I'm sorry. Everything is behind it, okay? See, all my fingers and thumb is behind this axis pivot point of the shear. That's what it's called. So I want you to hold them right, guys, and I want you to use your thumb to just move the shear. And feel how easy it feels. And precise. That's the idea. Precision. All right? Now, I want you to take that ring finger out and put your middle finger in there. Do you feel like you just lost control? You did. So practice this when you can, guys, so that you literally can feel the difference. And then start retraining your brain to hold it right, and eventually it will become something you don't have to think about. And that's what you want. That means you're properly using your tools. You're mastering these tools. When you master these tools, right here, you can groom any dog. You don't need 1,000 tools to groom a dog. It's nice to have all these tools that do one specific thing, but it's not necessary, especially for somebody who's a beginner or just grooming their own dog. You can do everything, de-shedding everything with these tools. I want you guys to know that. Now, I showed you the right and the wrong way to use these tools. In the description of this video, you're also going to find other products that I created for you to help you groom dogs like a professional. Very important. One of those products is my dog grooming fail-proof blueprint. And I have a picture of that. So let me switch over here so that you know this is the one I'm talking about. This is linked in the description below. My course is linked in the description below. My course is for the very beginner. It's also linked down there for you, and all these products have helped thousands of people and pet owners overcome their struggles to use dog grooming tools properly, as well as obtain the knowledge and the skills required to produce successful dog grooming sessions. That's what we all want is successful dog grooming sessions for you and for the pets that you're grooming. We want it to be a success. Wait till you hear what the topic is for our next live stream. You're gonna love that. But we're not done here yet. Don't go anywhere. You're mine. Okay, so glad you guys are here. Before I open up our discussion for your questions, I have a bonus topic for you. We're going to talk about the dog grooming comb. We don't talk about this one enough. Remember I told you this is one of, actually I think that's one of my hairs. I must have been, I don't know, maybe I was. I don't talk about the dog grooming comb as much as I think I should. So we're going to touch on this. It's also touched on pretty heavy in that PDF that is linked for you below for you to purchase if you want, how to properly use dog grooming tools. I feel like I'm like, you know, from the 80s here. Anyway, I got a few songs running through my head. Just because of that, I thought of 80s. Okay, so the dog grooming comb. Let's talk about that for a minute, guys. There's a couple things I want you to really want you to understand about the comb. And I want you to understand how and when to use it. That's important. The comb and the brush, these two tools, are married. Now, one is not good enough without the other. I do want you to understand that. So that's why I like to call them married. Okay, they're partners. I mean, they need each other. You can't just use this. Because say, my dog likes to be combed better than likes to be brushed. That's fine, but you're not removing any dead coat. All dogs, whether they shed or not, they need to have the dead coat gently removed with a brush. A comb is going to yank at that a bit more. It's not going to work the same. So when I say to you, these guys are married, they're married. This tool right here, the comb, is very important. And you may be using it too much or not enough when you should be. So do not use your comb until you have brushed the dog first. In fact, on many occasions during your routine brush outs for your dog, between bathing, between grooming, that's what I like to call routine brush outs. On many occasions during your routine brush outs, you'll switch between these two very important tools, the comb and the brush. Whether you're performing a daily brush out or you're going to trim your dog, your comb is the dictator of the work that you are trying to accomplish, okay? So what does that mean? The comb is used to check if your brushing is complete. After you've brushed an area, say a leg, you're going to slide the wider part of your comb. This has fine teeth and coarse teeth. So the coarser teeth, you're going to slide that through from the skin out. After you've brushed your dog, you must be able to slide a comb through the coat from the skin out to ensure that there's nothing snagging. If your comb is having resistance and moving through the coat after brushing, then you go back to the brushing process until you can easily slide a comb through the coat from the skin out. Very important. This is in greater detail in the PDF. And I went into far detail when I did my live Zoom session with my members on this. So when performing clipper work, this guy, it's the same principle applies, guys. Do not attempt to use your clipper or your shear, no scissor work, on a dog that is not bathed, brushed, dried, and a comb can slide through the coat. Or you're gonna have an unsuccessful session and you're gonna think something's wrong with your clipper. It's not. I get it. I get emails a lot saying I don't think the clipper's good enough. I can actually give my very poodly golden doodle. He has a very tight coat. I can give him a full haircut with an adjustable blade clipper and a guard comb. That's not my preference. That's not a heavy duty clipper, but I can do it because I perfectly prepare his coat. And that's bathing, conditioning, drying, brushing, and combing before I ever even touch him with a clipper. Because I know it's not going to go through it. I have to have the coat perfectly prepped. And guys, you know, I have lots of videos on my channel because I'm constantly talking about that fact. And I think you all get it. because I even read the comments like, all right, all right, all right. I did it. I prepared my dog's coat just like you said, and it cut like butter with the clipper, because that's the key. If you fail to follow these rules of properly preparing that coat, using the brush and the comb properly, then your clipper work will have trouble doing what it's supposed to do, and your scissor work is going to suffer even more. So it's important to know that. Now, let's get you guys some answers to your questions, okay? Then I'm going to tell you what the next live stream topic is going to be. All right, let me scroll in here and see who's getting chatty. You guys are all getting chatty. I love to see it. So glad you guys are all here. Patricia says, my dog hates his pads cleaned. All right. He's a multi-poo. Any advice? Thank you. Yes, Patricia. Yes. Possibly you may be using a 10 blade. Sometimes with a 10 blade, we have to push in those pads just a little bit more. There's also a V pad in your dog, the big pad of your dog's foot. That's called the V pad. And you'll notice a crease in there. We want to gently scoop in and out of that V pad, gently, in order to remove the hair and tangles, anything that may be in there. If the 10 blade's a bit of a longer cut. I like to tell you guys to use a 10 blade because it's very safe, but it can, we may have to push harder in there. Maybe that's what your dog's not liking. And I will tell you that those adjustable blade clippers, such as the Joyzy Hornet, the Kenchi Flash, the Kenchi Flash 5, these adjustable blade clippers tend to be much more tolerable to our dogs in the pads of feet and the sanitary area. It's just a gentle, the blade is completely different. It's made of partially plastic, whereas this is a metal blade, you know, so it's harder. So that could be the deal, is the adjustable blade clipper. Maybe if you have one, try it on a 15 or a 30 setting with very little pressure, just a nice scooping motion in that V pad. And maybe that'll get it done easier. Something must be uncomfortable to your multi-poo. That's what I'm thinking. And anytime when I'm grooming dogs, guys, I'm always watching their behavior. Now, there are dogs that are gonna, you know, fuss and fight like they don't, like it does bother them, but I'm really watching them. I'm like, they're just actually fussing. So I'll settle them down. Now wait, settle down, calm down, and put my hands on them, get them repositioned, get their confidence up again. And we start over and they calm down. Sometimes it's a confidence boost that they need. You need to have them standing, Patricia. If you let your dog coil up and you're doing something that they don't like, they're going to be protective of themselves. So you want them standing with confidence on the grooming table. This has a little bit of something to do with what we're going to talk about the next time we get together. So try those things, Patricia, and I wish you the best. Be patient, honey, because your dog knows if you get frustrated too. Janie says, is there anything that I could use to minimize matting? The best way to keep your dog from becoming matted, Prima's talking, is to definitely have routine brushing in place for your dog. So at least twice a week, and it depends on how long of a coat you're dealing with or how dense the coat is. The denser the coat, the more it needs brush, 2-3 times a week. And length as well. So definitely get in the routine of brushing often. Definitely get into the routine of bathing and conditioning and brushing and drying, maybe once every 3 weeks. People don't realize that bathing, brushing, conditioning, don't ever skip the conditioner, and drying pulls out the grime in the coat that is allowing everything to just get sticky and tacky. It makes the coat and the skin airy so that the coat is airy and the skin can breathe just like it's supposed to, with the coat protecting the skin. It's all designed for a reason, the way our dogs, their skin and coat works, okay? So a 3-week bathing and conditioning and brushing and drying routine between trimming. I would, if it's a dog that requires a haircut, I would never push that haircut off any more than 6 weeks if I could avoid it. because that's another thing. Now you're dealing with too much coat. Once it gets to a certain point, you have trouble maintaining it because the dog is active and living life, whether that's just playing ball in the living room or that's playing ball in the backyard. He's still active and the hair's gonna get all crazy. So proper skin and coat maintenance is actually the best way to keep your dog from matting. Now some people say, okay, so my dog is matted, now what do I do? Well, okay, well if it's a point where it's going to be painful to the dog to demat, or if you can't safely do it, sometimes we have to take the haircut shorter at that time, because a shorter blade is all it's going to get under those mats. Okay, if it's a dog that doesn't require a haircut, then we're going to try the conditioning technique, the gentle brushing with the conditioner on the tub. So I recently did a video on my channel, Bathing Perfection is what the thumbnail says. Please watch that and take your time and listen and take notes maybe. Another one was my de-shed video with the beagle, the beagle, his name was Bagel. I would watch that. These techniques are what helps us to release the dead coat so that we can get through it. So hopefully that helps you, Janie. And Nala says, hi Amy, can you show a face groom that would suit most dogs and how to hold the tools on the opposite side of the dog's face? Yes, that's a great idea. And I do have a lot of videos on my channel with Cabijans, Maltipoos, Shih Tzus, Golden Doodles, where I do a full head trim, multiple videos. So Schnauzer, Teddy Bear trim, all those videos have the head trim in detail. It's also got the rest of the groom in there, which would benefit anybody to watch. But each one of them has how I do the head. And if you're not sure, if you didn't pick up verbally on how I do the opposite side, I want you to watch what I'm doing. That will tell you. If you watch what I'm doing, that will actually help you understand better. I think I learn very well by watching. I could often turn the sound off of something and just watch and learn. And that's easy for me. Some people need verbal details. And yes, I will make a video about that. I have a lot of videos planned for you guys. Our future is bright. Let me just say that. It really is. Because I will have time to make more videos and to be more thoughtful and mindful of the videos I want to film and create. Okay, and that's what I want. I want that. So it's coming. No problem. SVCC Sean from Toy Schnauzers. She is the one who bred our beautiful Ellie Grace, and she's now one of my dearest friends. I love you, Sean. She says, Amy, how does this clipper compare to the Flash? The Raptor, I'm assuming, that you're talking about. How does this clipper compare to the Flash that I own? Okay, the Flash is a 5-in-1 clipper. The Raptor, now I'm not going to go too in depth on this tonight because I have a whole live stream already dedicated to the differences and, you know, what's compatible with each clipper. That's important too. And that was about, I don't know, 2 months ago I did that live stream. So you can go back and watch that and get very detailed description. But this is what is called a detachable blade. It has a blade release. You pop the blade off. This is a metal blade. Now the Joy Z blades do have ceramic coating mixed in with the metal so they don't get as hot, which is wonderful. I am loving the Joy Z blades. It's pretty much all I use, just saying. So that is the difference. The blade is very different. Very, very, very much of a difference, Sean. Okay, so here's this. Now, Sean, you also have a KM10. That is comparable to this clipper. Comparable. Same type of clipper, same performance, okay? So there's no reason for you to get a Raptor, Sean, because you have a KM10, which is like this clipper. It's a detachable blade clipper. The difference between that and the adjustable blade is this adjustable blade, the teeth are closer together, which, as we were talking earlier, in those gentle areas, in the pads of feet and in the private areas, that's a sensitive area for dogs. And this type of blade with the fine teeth like this tends to be very gentle feeling to the dog when we're using it. So that's why if you can have one of each, I always do all of my pads of feet and sanitary around the privates with an adjustable blade clipper on a 10 blade setting. If I want to go in with the pads of the feet with a 30, I will, but it's only for pads of feet with a 30, okay? 10 blade. And always check your blade setting on these. You don't want to go into the privates on a 30 or you will burn the crap out of the skin and they're going to start itching and rubbing it, and you're probably going to have to take them to the vet to get antibiotic because they'll get it all infected and nasty. So that is the difference between an adjustable blade and the A5 detachable blade. This is a heavier duty clipper. It can perform anything, even the sanitary trimming with a 10 blade on, but it's just not as gentle in those private areas as this guy is, especially to our smaller dogs. So that's why I use both of them, sanitary trimming every time with an adjustable blade clipper, which is my Kenchi Flash 5 or the Joyzy Hornet. I like that one too. I have all of them. I'm a bit spoiled, ain't I? So, Sean, I hope that answers your question. I'm sure it was on a lot of people's minds too. Well, what's the difference? And I'm very happy that you asked it because I know you're helping other people. Okay, so Sean says, do I need this new clipper along with the others? No, and like I explained, Sean, you have a Wall KM10. It is going to do the job of the Joyzy Raptor. If something happens to your Wall KM10 years down the road, it doesn't work, you may want to consider this Raptor. It's a great clipper. I really love it. But no, you have what you need, Sean. Trust me. Nala says, have you ever had any problems with the blades or the scissors after getting them sharpened? In the past, I have. I've sent blades out and got them back and they weren't cutting. And I'll tell you what I had to do. Often it isn't that they didn't sharpen them, because they did. Right away I think, they didn't sharpen it. I paid for it to be sharpened. What happens is they don't properly adjust the tension on the blade. Has hair in it. The blade has a cutting edge that moves back and forth, and that has to be lined up perfectly with the stationary blade, which is the back part. If it's not, or the tension is wrong on these screws, it's going to act like it's dull. It's not going to want to cut, but it's not always that it's not always that it isn't sharp. It's that it wasn't put back together the right way. So you have to, I need to do a video on it. I know, say no more. I do need to do a video on that, because yes, it has happened to me, and that is the cure, is to readjust the blade the way it needs to be. So we'll put that one on the video list too. Have you ever had a shear come back and it wasn't proper? Yes, I have, and I was very discouraged about that. Sometimes I want to tell you guys, if you drop your shears on the floor, or if a dog kicks them off the table, they may never work the same again, just so you know. But oftentimes our shear manufacturers that we send our shears to be sharpened or adjusted, so you would say to them, my shears, you put a note on this one, needs sharpened, but it's out of alignment, I dropped it. And they know to check everything that they can to see if they can get it back into proper working shape for you. So I always put notes with my shears that I send out, just needs sharpened or fell off the table. So I let them know if they need to really take a harder look at it. And usually they can do something with it. And I will tell you, for the last several years, I have been sending all my shears to Kenchi. Kenchi has a fantastic state-of-the-art shear sharpening service. That's where I like to have my shears sharpened. I have yet to be disappointed. So I suggest that you can go to kenchi.com. There's a place on their website that it says services, I believe, and then you'll see shear sharpening. And that goes for blade sharpening too. So you can send those blades out to be sharpened. And Kenchi is by far the best that has ever touched my shears. By far. They come back like factory again. Wonderful. So I'm glad you asked that question. What's that? Skip says, I get my Cavadoodle's dog's face beard wrong. Okay, using curved or straight shears, it's always shorter at the ear, and it looks weird, like it's too short. Okay, what am I doing wrong? One thing that I said earlier, guys, and it's in my PDF, use your comb constantly to lift and pull that hair out. The hair may be sitting tighter to the face. Anytime I go to scissor anything on a dog, I am pulling it up and combing it up and out first, so I can see what is uneven and get myself a nice shape on there. So what I would say to do, if you're using guard combs here to set this, go to a longer guard comb length. So if you're using, say, a 3/8 of an inch, which is what this is, why don't you try going up to a 1/2 of an inch and seeing if that little bit makes a difference? And often in the dog grooming world, especially with faces, a little bit makes a big difference in the way it looks. So try that. Go to a larger guard comb setting. If you're not sure how to use guard combs on your dog's face to get a nice, even, well-balanced look, I have a video, several videos. Try my video with a teddy bear trim. That's a recent video. Go watch that one. Go watch my golden doodle. I have 3 or 4 golden doodle videos. One of them is just golden doodle head trim. Go watch that one. I'm using guard combs to set the length, and that's the easiest way to do it. All right, so it's great to see you guys. Jenny says, is the Raptor as loud as the KM10? Yeah, I mean, it makes noise because it's an 8.5 clipper. It's got a heck of a motor in it. It's not an adjustable blade clipper. So let me put my blade on. Yeah, it sounds like a detachable blade clipper. Is it louder than the KM10? It has a different sound to the motor. More of a squeal. Hear that? That's low, medium, high. It has 3 settings. Not much of a difference between the KM10. A little bit. I'd have to say the KM10 probably is a little bit quieter now that you mention it. But I don't think that bothers the dogs too much. A lot of people think that bothers the dogs. I haven't noticed that it does. Especially dogs that are accustomed to being groomed. They're used to the vibration and the sound of a clipper. So I hope that answers your question, Jenny, and thank you for asking it. Uncle Sam's niece, how you doing, kiddo? Says, hi, Amy. I'm trying to find a good brush for a Labrador Retriever. It isn't super thick coat. Okay, can't seem to find the right brush to get hold of the coat to pull out the dead stuff. Any ideas? One of my favorite brushes for shedding breeds, even if it's a shorter, like a lab, all the way up to even like a Sheltie, okay, is the Kenchi wooden slicker brush. I did a video a while ago, years ago, with my husband, him trying all the different brushes on our golden doodle. And I really love that Kenchi slicker brush. I can't reach it. It's wooden, okay? It has a wooden, it's shaped just like a regular slicker brush, but it's a wooden back on it. And it is the slicker brush. They only have one slicker brush, but it comes in small, medium, and large. If you have a big lab, I probably would go for the large, seriously. So you can really get through it quicker, pulling out that dead coat. That brush pulls out the dead coat wonderfully, especially the coat that's ready to come out. It pulls it out. So that's my answer. That's an excellent question. I'm sure other people enjoy it. Carrie J, how you doing? How's your house building going? Beautiful, Carrie. Do you follow me on Instagram? I've been putting reels up there constantly. Just put one up today. Today we have roof rafters. So we're getting there. We're almost under roof. Thanks for asking, Carrie. It is a really awesome project building a house, I will say, but it's like being on cloud 9 all the time. It's distracting. Only thing you can think about is, wonder what's going to happen tomorrow. Oh my gosh, what if we get here? What if I didn't get all this done? Oh, I got to pick this. It's fun, but it's very consuming in the brain. Absolutely. All right, so Uncle Sam's niece says, And the owner, where are we at here? And the owner only has a Furminator. Okay, try to convince people that a Furminator is not a brush and it should never be used instead of a brush. Actually, I don't prefer to use Furminators on shedding breeds because I'm still going to go for my brush anyway, and I know my brush is only going to pull what really does want to come out. I don't want to force. You can force coat out with a Furminator if you keep going with it. So I try to turn people off with the Furminators, but explain to them, Uncle Sam's niece, that the Furminator is not a brush, and every dog needs to be brushed to help stimulate the dead skin, exfoliate, should I say, as well as, and gently brushing, as well as it encourages blood flow to the skin, which creates healthy skin and coat. So tell them Furminator's not a brush. I would discourage them from using it. So then she says, could that be damaging and making it hard to correctly manage the dead undercoat? Yes, it could. I've told them to stop. Thank you. So yes, it can be damaging because it can be pulling too much, which is going to encourage a new growth of undercoat, a mighty new growth. Okay, it can. And that's why I'm always feeling like, I tell you guys all the time when it comes to de-shedding, we don't want to take more than what's ready to come out, because we're encouraging an overgrowth of undercoat if we force the undercoat out and it wasn't ready to come out. And if it's ready to come out, it will, with a brush and a comb. So I definitely stay true to that, trying to get them to not use the Furminator. Especially, we're talking about a homeowner who is probably not the best at brushing a dog. Having the Furminator tool in their hand is probably the worst tool that they could have in their hand. But they've been marketed from QVC that it's wonderful. It is, if you know how to use it, it can be. And if you're gentle, and if you don't go over the same area, you can cause skin irritation with a Furminator if you're improperly using it. And I just hope people realize that, because I know they don't want to hurt their dogs. And so that's why we get together. That's why we get together, so that we can all be better together and share these secrets. I'm so glad for these questions tonight. Let me tell you what the topic is when we get together in 2 weeks, like we're supposed to. Our next Live from the Grooming Table is scheduled for Monday, July 31st at 5:30. That's our time. Mondays are our days. So it's every 2 weeks. Eastern Standard Time, guys. Okay? 5:30 p.m. The topic is, get your dog to behave for dog grooming. How do you get your dog to behave for dog grooming? I get to ask this question all the time. I'm finally going to make a demo for it and then make a video of it. This is also a topic I'm going to be covering with my members in a different way, which is August. We're getting together again. We get together once a month, my channel members. This is a great topic because most of the things that we end up talking about often comes back to my dog doesn't let me do this. But it could be because we're compromising their stance and the way that we're asking them to stand, or we're not asking them to stand, or we're not asking them to stay in a certain way on the table. We're not using our hands properly to keep them where we want them, not forcefully, by reminding them. There's methods to the madness, and I'm going to share that with you guys in 2 weeks, and I cannot wait. If you would like to have the PDF that I put together for you guys, that is the 7-page digital download to help you hold and use your tools properly, it is linked in the description below. I think it's fantastic. If you're a hound, a channel member, you already have it from session 13. If you didn't download it, go to session 13's video and it's the PDF for download. Guys, I am so glad you were here. It was wonderful to see you. You are amazing. And I am just thrilled with the community that we have built together and the wonderful things that we are doing together for our pets and the pets we groom. So big salute to all of you for being fantastic. I have Get your tissues out. I have a farmer's dog showdown to show you, but it's awesome. And if you're interested in a 100% free trial of the farmer's dog fresh food, which is what I feed my dogs, there's a link for you in the description below. I love you. I will see you in 2 weeks. You keep being awesome.
I'll always take care of you.
Slow down. I wanna hold you forever.
Hey, little bear bear.
I wanna love you forever.
Let's not do that again, okay?
Don't worry, darling, about the rest of our life. Through thick and thin, I'll be there by your side. 'Cause when I see those big, beautiful eyes looking into mine, I wanna hold you forever.
To have and to be from this day forward.
You forever.
Come on, Bear.
Yes, I do, man. Ooh.
I'm gonna love you forever.
Okay, Bear.
Forever.